Good afternoon, sports fans. It's your friendly neighborhood Paul here, bringing you the next episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks, where myself and my lovely co-host talk about the games of old, the games of new, and everything in between. And I cannot wait to jump in today with our special guest. But before we get to them, we, of course, need to talk about the Tetris Camp counselor himself. ProbablyOliver, how you doing today?
Tetris Effect is coming to Switch shortly. I am probably going to never sleep again. I'm very excited for this. I totally missed the news when it came out recently, but now I found out this week, and I could cry. I could cry with happiness. Tetris on the go, 24/7. What's not to love?
Oh man, because Tetris hasn't been released on the phone how many times, or
I have Tetris on my phone. I'm not a fan of Tetris on my phone.
You need the buttons. Is it the buttons you need?
Yeah, I can't do it on the phone. It's not for me. It's not for me.
He's got big thumbs. He's got big
I've
thumbs.
got big thumbs. Big thumbs. Big beefy thumbs. That's what they call me. Hey, big thumb.
And seamless transition into our very special guest. You know him from the Twitchosphere, the one, the only, ReapersPast. How you doing, my man?
How you doing? I just woke up like an hour ago.
Glad you could make it. Honestly, Reaper, I'm so glad that you could make it here on your birthday. I'm so glad you made time on your birthday.
Happy birthday, Reaper. Can we get a shout out for ReapersPast? Can we shout out ReapersPast quick?
Oh, you weren't ready for that callback. I'm waiting for him to disconnect right now. Just disconnect like you.
Boy.
God damn it.
Hey, look, it's been a while, right? Like, it's been like, what, a week since anybody asked for that?
I mean, okay, here's the thing. Whenever I see Nardog or somebody, they're always like, hey, happy birthday. I'm just like, okay.
Stop it. Stop.
It's not my birthday, though. I'm not like 100-something now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for everybody who has no idea, for some reason that's unbeknownst to me, we just started, like, for some reason it was always Reaper's birthday on Twitch for like 6 months, 7 months, possibly a year.
It's going, it's about to hit a year.
Yeah,
so.
like, just the bad joke of, like, shout out ReapersPast and happy birthday, Reaper. To the point where I almost banned happy birthday, like, I almost banned that phrase, like, just like auto mod, cutting down birthday. Like, what?
Got it.
Anytime anybody tries to talk about their birthday, no birthday for you.
We are Jehovah's Witnesses here. We do not celebrate birthdays.
No birthdays, no Christmas, nothing.
Nothing. You want spooky season? No.
No. You know what's scary? Going door to door. That's scary. That's enough spooky for you. We don't get candy. You give them a Bible.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's what they do. I'm honestly not entirely sure.
I don't. I see them at work all the time. It's just like, what do you? Okay. Like white shirt, button up with a tie that's colored like a little bit off color. I'm just like, okay.
ProbablyOliver just glazed. He's like, I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, we have a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses over here.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got a friend who is a Jehovah's Witness. He's like, he was brought up Jehovah's Witness. Like, he didn't celebrate his first birthday until he like moved away from his parents' house at like the age of like 22.
Wow.
Like, it's mad. Like, but hey,
Did you get him 22 birthday cakes?
Absolutely not. Don't you think I'm made of money? Jesus.
I mean,
he got one and liked it.
I was gonna say I definitely would have just gave him cupcake, but don't worry. Your delivery service is off frame. It's not showing up on the
okay.
It's like perfectly cropped to where the door you don't see it open. So you just pulled food out of nothing. Just
I'm magic.
magic. Yeah, but
Oh my
ladies and
God.
gentlemen, like I said, this is where we talk about the games of old, the games of new, and everything in between. But before we get to that, well, we gotta figure out what's in our cups. So, probably Oliver, what are you drinking this fine evening?
So we've had a terrible summer here in the UK. It's been a rubbish summer. There's been barely any sun. There's been barely any like nice weather. It's been awful. However, in the last couple of days, the sun has come back out. Today, it's like well, yeah, of course you're tan, like, but I mean, look at that complexion. Of course you're tan, like.
Don't pretend like you're not as pale as I am. All right, get the fuck out of here with that noise. You're like 2 hours away. The sun doesn't just like retire when it crosses London.
It crosses London. Oh no,
No
It's
more.
down,
I'm
it's
done.
down,
I'm
it's
done.
down.
I'm done.
But
It's
no,
fine,
the
it's
sun's
my
come
break
back out,
time.
and like my chosen drink, like any summer, like is one of my favorite beers. But it's a wheat beer, it's a blonde beer, so like it just hits different when the sun's shining. So we've got a comically large bottle of Hogarden, and we have a couple of these, and it's a damn good beer. If you've never had Hogarden, I totally recommend it. Is
You're
chef's
not.
kiss beautiful.
You're not joking about it being comically large. Like that's your forearm.
It's that's it's a 750
Exercising.
milliliter like bottle, so it's
Yep.
Put it up next to your head. Oh my! It's even bigger than your.
it is bigger than my head.
That's why I had him use his forearm. I don't know why you just had like, no, put it near your head.
Hey, it's a better comparison.
I don't think so. Most people's forearms, like,
I mean, some people's heads are big. You just never know. Okay.
yeah, but banana for scale.
Look, I was a C-section baby. Okay.
Right. So we're gonna try and get the
Oh, ooh,
Oh.
oh my goodness, that was, ooh. I'm feeling refreshed just hearing that noise.
For real, dude.
Okay, and now Reaper's Past. Now I understand for everybody, peek behind the curtains on the YouTubes. We record this at 6 p.m. UK time, so that's noon for Reaper, which means it's 5 o'clock here, which means it's 5 o'clock somewhere, which means you could drink if you wanted to, but I don't know if you got like to adult later or like any other stuff. So what are you drinking, my good sir?
Currently, I am drinking some H2O and some Dr. Pepper, but I'm probably gonna get some whiskey later on. So.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. I mean, what? I'm not forcing you. Let it be known that Nostalgia on the Rocks does not force any guest to partake in the alcoholic beverages. We simply ask that they have a beverage ready, because otherwise, if they're like, "Oh, I'm not drinking anything," it's like we're gonna be sitting here for like an hour and a half or so. Like you're gonna want to take a drink of something at some point, like even water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember, you gotta stay hydrated, not dehydrated.
Stay hydrated. And then I have myself a lovely Glenfiddich 18. This is one of their small batch 18s, unopened. So we're gonna open up this little bad boy. I'm gonna open up on camera, unlike certain people.
God, come on, we can.
No, nope. That will not die until we see each other again, and you get a redemption. That will not die. Remember, next time you got to come here.
Oh, just give me the date. Give me the date, and I'm there.
It's fucking tomorrow. Ha! I'm kidding. I understand that you got stuff, and we're all busy as shit. All right. That little piece. Oh, easy now. There it goes. Let's see if we can get that good cork. Ooh. Not a good pop.
Ooh, that was...
Not a good pop, but a nice squeak.
Good
nice
twist.
Squeak.
Good twist.
You know?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
That got deep.
And I found my Glenfiddich glass. You can't really tell. The wording is there, though. I found it in one of my drawers. I remember now why I put it away. Because we got a little chippy chip right there on the top. Big sad. But, that's what happens when you get gifted something from a pub that I did not steal, nor did I condone the theft of, but it was given to me at a later date. And I said, that looks an awful lot like the glasses at the pub. They were like, yeah, weird. What a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know how I got here. It just appeared one day.
It just showed up. It just showed up. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for spending your time here with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Cheers.
Yes.
It's a good beer. It's just such. Oh, I can't drink this beer over the winter. I can't tell you why, but it just over the winter it doesn't work, but over the summer, oh, beautiful beer. Beautiful beer.
Are you gonna cry?
I could. I really could. I might.
Do it.
Give it time. After a couple
Okay.
of these, I probably will. Like
Yeah. He does. We all get a little emotional when we start sipping. Found that out. We found that out after we destroyed that bottle that I thought for sure he would be able to use on the show afterwards. Nope.
No.
You can use it as a set piece. That's about the extent. Because it is
Jesus.
empty. It is empty. We killed half of it on the show. Like,
Quite possibly the best and worst episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks so far.
It's like we got real. We got really, really real.
we'll say best for the host, worst for the audience is probably.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention we didn't record. Well, I say we. You didn't record an outro.
Nope.
So I just had to kind of like cut it at some point because I was like, we just kind of ramble and then he raids somebody. So I guess I'll just cut it here because this seems like the best spot to cut it. So it just kind of ends abruptly. And part of me debated on doing like recording an outro. Be like, hi, Oliver forgot to record an outro. So I was like, no, we're not. I'm not
Like
letting
a
Oliver off the
full
hook.
on like Troy McClure, like just kind of.
Oh, I was not in the mood. I was like, nope. All right, so let's start off talking about what we've been playing. So Oliver, I know you've been playing a few things, and so let's start off. Let's have you start with your second game, and then we'll have you move into the one you put in first.
Of course.
Just so that
So-
way you, yeah.
I only wanted to like touch on this, like, but Ghost of Tsushima. I picked up the director's cut PS5 all bells and whistles edition of Ghost of Tsushima because I wanted to talk about the DLC, the Icky Island expansion, I think it's called, like, because it looks
Okay.
awesome. I'm not there yet. Like, it's so that DLC isn't until you complete the first act of the game, and it's been a good 8 months, maybe longer, almost a year since I last played Ghost of Tsushima. So I, for the life of me, can't remember how to play it, sort of thing. So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna, I've paid out for this like special edition of it. Like, I want to enjoy it. It's one of my favorite games of. Well, it was my game of the year last year. It's one of my favorite games of the last like 5-6 years. It's incredible. Like, fuck it, why not? Let's give it a shot. And so yeah, I started again from the start and was like expecting it just to be the same as it was when I played it like the first time. Like, it's a beautiful game, it's a great game. I expected just to like whiz through it. I am doing everything in that game again. That game just hits different, and like on PS5, like somehow, I don't know how, but somehow it looks even more beautiful. Like, just there's like more like just more of everything.
There's
Like
just more. I don't know
it
what
just
it is, but there's more of it.
like, yeah, just every part of that game is just stunning, and like the way they've integrated like the DualSense controller, which is, I mean, it's got to be felt to be believed, sort of thing. But like when you're riding your horse, the controller vibrates at the galloping speed of your horse, basically, and so you feel it in your hand when you're moving. Like, the sound of every slash of your sword comes out the controller itself and sounds incredible. Like, it's a cliche at this point, but like when you've got your bow and you hold down L2 to pull the bow, you feel the tension in the triggers. It's stunning. And like I genuinely thought, I was like, right, I'm just gonna mainline this until I complete Act 1 and then I'm gonna jump into the DLC. I'm doing all the side stuff again. I don't need to, but I'm doing it again just because it's incredible. This is the best version of one of the best games of the last few years, and goddamn, I can't believe they managed to make an already 10 out of 10 game better somehow. Good game. Good game.
I was gonna say because I played that a few months back. I think I rolled credits on it. And so you're saying like, oh, it's just better. There's just more of it, and it's better. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how? Like, how do you make better? But of course, with PS5, you have upgraded graphics, textures, this that. I imagine it runs like fucking silk. Like that's got to be at 60, right?
Like
Or they
yeah,
keep it-
it's
Okay.
like 60 FPS. Like I think it's upscaled 4K. I don't think it's native 4K,
Okay.
but you can't
But that's
tell. Like
that's the
it's
thing though. Like I never understood. I was always like when you do the difference between like performance mode and like 60 like
Quality.
frames versus quality
Mhm.
or like resolution versus frames. I didn't realize the difference in that. I was like, oh, I'd so much rather have frames. I now understand what all these PC dorks are talking about when they said I need 800 frames a second. I get it, but like, good lord.
Like I'm like because like when I first played through Ghost of Tsushima, I played it in like frame rate mode, like resolution mode. So no, performance mode. Like this time I was like, fuck it. I know how to play this game. I'm gonna play it in resolution mode. I want to see how beautiful this game can look. And like running it on the PS5 on a good but not by any means like top of the range TV, it's never like in like performance mode it has never dropped below 60. Like it just look like, sorry, in resolution mode it has never dropped below 60 frames per second. It's buttery smooth and it looks just incredible. That game is, for my money, yeah, it's incredible. I just like it hits every spot, that game. It's incredible. Love it.
Reaper, did you ever get your hands on Ghost of Tsushima?
Nope, not once.
No interest in it, or just wasn't your?
I really don't play my PlayStation like at all. Like it just kind of sits there. The only games that I ever really played on there were God of War and Persona 5, but Persona 5 is just a monument in itself.
That God, I the only touchstone of Persona 5 I have is Game Attack playing that. That was it. Like when they played it for like 6.5 days straight. Like that's the only touchstone I have to that game. And the fact that it took them streaming for 6.5 days straight. And I don't mean like for everybody watching home, I don't mean like they did a 12-hour stint, they took a break and they came back. No, I mean they were cycling people through
Jesus.
24 hours a day. I think because I think Twitch cuts your stream at like 48 hours. I think it like auto kills it. So it's like 48 hours, it would die, come back up a minute later, and they just keep rolling. And it's like, for fuck's sake. So yeah, that's my only real touchstone to that game. But yeah.
At this stage, I would recommend people stay away from Ghost of Tsushima until they have a PS5. Like, I would recommend that game to everyone, but just this version of it is just it's perfect. Like, I mean, there is every potential that Ghost of Tsushima could be my game of the year again. It's just,
oh my god,
it's so good. It's just so good.
You mean it's
I
gonna
love that game.
beat Ascension?
The Ascent. I think.
I keep
mean,
fucking it
it's
up.
close.
I was like, I can never remember if it's Ascent or Ascension, and I always shoot for Ascension, and I'm always wrong. That is 2 weeks in a row now.
Forgettable that game is. Just proves how inconsequential that video game is.
How okay at best. It's just like to put it on the box art. Probably it's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine.
I don't recommend it.
I don't.
That's pretty much what it was. It was like, look, there are better games to kill time with than that game.
But the other game I've been playing this week, and speaking of Game of the Year conversations, I can already tell this is going to be a game in that conversation when it comes to it in a few months' time. Psychonauts 2 is so damn good. It's
really?
I like I'm a big 3D platformer guy. I was so excited for Ratchet and Clank a few months ago, and I was so lukewarm on Ratchet and Clank at the end of it. Like, it
Because
was,
kids, yeah, shocking. A kid's game not delivering. Weird.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. But that was my problem with Ratchet and Clank, is that it was good, but I just felt it was just too simple at everything. Like, Psychonauts 2 is scratching the itch that I wanted Ratchet and Clank to scratch, and with the exception of kind of the art style and character design, which I
So
don't love.
okay. So with that conversation, um, it's a lot better than the first one. I will say that.
Mhm.
That's what put me off of the first one, because I tried playing the first one and it something about the art style, the characters, just I could not get behind it. Like, it really put me off. And as you were saying, like with 3D platformers, it's great. Like,
Mm.
I love it. The story's great. The character quirks and all that. It's a real good game. Go ahead,
It's
as you were saying.
like I think yeah, the characters. I've never been a big fan of that, like, kind of like Burton-esque
Mm,
like animated style. It's just never been for me, and like, but I can get through that because of the fact that, as Reaper just said, like, the writing in it is so good. Like, early on, I think already one of my favorite moments, and this is very, very, very minor spoilers for literally the first 20 minutes of Psychonauts 2. You meet these characters called the Tooth Fairies, and
yeah.
their little flying teeth with cigars and New York mafioso accents. Like, and like, I met them, and instantly just I was like, this game's incredible. This game is funny. This game is everything I wanted Ratchet and Clank to be and more. Like, it's very good.
Yeah, there's puns everywhere on that game.
Mhm.
Everywhere.
I am perplexed at how much I just want to look that up now. Because like all I'm getting is like the Dimension 20 the Unsleeping City, where that they
Yeah.
have pixies, and pixies are like the Don Corleone type, so it's just like Brennan Lee Mulligan, the DM for it, he's like doing this, New York accent.
the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah, he's
Like, but like high pitched.
yeah, but it's like higher pitch. So he's doing New York, which is normally like, you come to me the day of my daughter's wedding and you
Mhm.
expect me to just do this. But he's also like, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. It's like somehow goes Pixie and New York at the same time, and I don't get it. And I hate it, but I
It's
love it. But yeah, that's what it just in my brain when you're like, oh yeah, it's their teeth. Okay, that's weird. Smoking cigars. Okay. But they talk like they're from New York. What? Who signed all? Who came up
It's
with
incredible.
this?
It's and like, I'm still very early doors. Like, I never played any of the Psychonauts games. Like,
Yep.
like, just like they passed me by. Like, I was just never aware of them. Like, when I was younger, sort of thing. Like, but this, because even the game itself opens with like this really, really, really well put together
elaborate
cutscene.
plan.
Yeah, like, really elaborate cutscene, retelling the plot of Psychonauts 1 in this really silly sort of way, which is very, very well done. And like, I'm still early on. I've done like the first 2 levels, but I am like, because I only started it last night, but I am itching to get back to it. Like, and like, it's the kind of it's that kind of game that's already kind of got like into me, that to the point that I'm bummed out that I've got quite a busy weekend. Like, I've got like, so I've only got like a couple of like pockets of time where I'm gonna be able to like jump on and play it, and I'm like, oh man, I just don't want to do nothing. I just want to play Psychonauts 2. It's really good. Like, I think it's not gonna be my game of the year, but it's definitely gonna be in that conversation. It's definitely gonna be in that, pardon me, it's definitely gonna be in that like top 5, top 10 sort of range. It's very good. Very good.
It
Okay.
really is.
I was gonna say, so Reaper, what are you? So how far are you in the game?
So I'm like in the fifth world, essentially, like the fifth brain. It's a real good game. Story wise, I don't want to get into spoilers, but it makes you feel things. It's just like, man, like you see like this type of personality somebody has, and it just sometimes it just hits a little too close to home, and you're just, oh,
Like, I
okay.
was like, okay, game, thanks for attacking me. Wasn't ready for that. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, and so there's that, and then like the level designs and everything. Like the one that I'm in, it's like very like hippie-esque type of vibrant colors, like you're on a trip. It, it's pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna say. That I don't want to get into spoilers because like that plays into it, and it ties everything together, especially. It, so here's the thing. Here's the basic premise of it. Raz in the first game, he was very like he was an outcast, trying to fit into the group and all that stuff, like trying to become a psychonaut. And on that, so in the first one, you were learning all your basic powers, and then in this one, it's like, oh, I'm going to be a secret agent. I'm going to be a psychonaut. No, you're going to be an intern. So it's like you end up being an intern, and then you're like trying to fit in with because there's other kids. You're trying to fit in with them, and then you're trying to prevent whatever's happening.
Mhm.
It's just a good story through and through. Gameplay wise, it's kind of flawless. Like they've mastered the 3D
Okay.
platformers. It's pretty good with the powers where they're interchangeable and everything, and then you're able to upgrade. It's like you have levitation, which you're essentially running on a ball, but it's like
It
to everyone
feels
else.
so good though. It feels
Yeah,
so good.
it really does. It's like being able to jump and oh my god, telekinesis, you grab someone, you could throw it at somebody else, you could pyrokinesis, set people on fire with your brain, like
With your brain, like
it's like mind freak.
mind freak.
And as well, like, because I mean, as a video game content creator on the internet, if I don't say it, the men at Xbox will come around and beat me up. It's on Game Pass. It
Yeah.
is. If you have Game Pass, it is free. It is a brand new. Like, it is a like. I will say like it's like an 8.5 out of 10 video game. A really good video game. If you have Game Pass, which is what, £10 a month, $15 a month,
Yeah.
it is free. It's a no-brainer. It's a damn good game.
All right, so
Damn good game.
that might be because Lord knows I'm been terrible about like maintaining a single game to stream. So I'll probably just end up playing that off air just so that way I can kind of get a general idea. So that way next episode we can talk about it. I don't know if we're gonna do like a spoiler cast, although that'd be kind of cool in and of itself. But just so we can kind of talk about it, because like I said, I have zero touchstone to this. Who's the guy? James Willems from Funhouse.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I even know what the fuck Psychonauts was.
Mm.
And then so it's like everybody's like Psychonauts 2. Oh my gosh. It's like I cool? Is this like Crash Bandicoot? I don't
Yep.
But like Tim Burton? Like if Tim Burton decided to make a Crash Bandicoot game? And so with it being on Game Pass, I mean I'm not gonna say I'm gonna beat the game by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll probably end up hopping in and run through a world or two where a brain. Is that what you said?
Yeah. You
It'll all make
literally
sense when you
dive
play
into
it. Like,
yeah.
I imagine once I jump in, it'll start making sense. It's just
yeah,
the first
even
world
down to
or
the
like the
even down to like the opening sequence, which I mean, I will admit made very little sense to me. Like after the cutscene that explains what happened in the first game, and like when you first like pick up sticks and you first have control of Raz, like it was making very little sense what we were doing, and like they were throwing a lot of like words and terminology and kind of lore at me sort of thing, and but like the first like 5 minutes of playing, I was like, "Ooh, this is quite like." They're being quite full on with expecting me to know what's up, but within about 5-10 minutes, you get it. Like you kind of go, oh shit, okay, this is what we're doing. It's it's almost sort of, I don't know. It's like like if Tim Burton directed Inception, like that kind of like sort of like
that's a good
mental
comparison.
mind fuckery with it. It's good. It's really good.
All right, yeah, I'm playing it now because now I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But okay,
Like it just picks up like kind of quickly. Because you get put into the sequence and you're like, what is happening? And then you're like, oh, what okay, now we're doing this.
Okay,
Oh,
we're going.
okay,
We're
now
just
we're
going
doing
now.
this.
Okay.
It's like it'll put you in a railroad a little bit, but I mean, it's a story. What do you expect?
Yeah. So aside from Psychonauts, Reaper, what have you been getting into?
I've been playing Tribes of Midgard a lot, which is essentially like you're a Viking, you defend your village. It's a tower defense game, but you also try to survive by getting materials, crafting swords, crafting axes, armor, and then you get attacked by big Jotuns, and those are like giants, either made of darkness, lightning, fire, ice. So you're essentially trying to ascend to Asgard, like from Midgard.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's like the tower defense aspect of it is you have to defend a tree, like the world tree,
Mm-hmm.
and if it gets destroyed, well, that's the end of your run. Like, there's a reason I like it, and it's the fact that you could just do little short runs if you want, or if you want to, because there's an end boss, right? So you could try to get to it.
I was gonna
or
say
you could try to survive.
that's just reeks of Reaper's games. Like how long
Yeah.
did it take you to like beat Hades?
Uh,
Because I feel like you ran through that real fast.
I want to say like 4 days, probably.
Yeah, and just for everybody to understand, I'm not talking about it took him 4 days to beat the guy at the end Hades. No, I mean like to get the full story of Hades. It took you 4 days. I still haven't even done that. I've gotten out of Hades like 4 times maybe. And I'm like, I don't know how many more times I'm gonna do this. I just like I enjoy the game, but like I can't do it because then I gotta keep upping the difficulty. And then it's hard. And I don't like it.
I don't want to suffer.
I don't wanna, alright? I get tired of it. Fucking Mel and her
get it.
sisters and the fucking Hydra, and then the fucking bull and the douchebag, and then Dad. I killed him 3 times already, Dad. Leave me alone.
Look,
He's
the
dead.
Furies could step on me. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
That so I mean I didn't put it on the docket because like I've still only played like little pockets of it. I've only maybe put in about an hour and a half into Hades so far, but like man, that game is good and that game is horny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
It really is. It's ridiculous.
Jesus. Look,
It's like,
all
hey,
I'm
you want to
saying
bang?
is,
Bang them.
like, that's the thing, right? There is a plethora of characters. You have Mel, who I found out has a TikTok, or at least somebody who sounds extremely like her has a TikTok, and she just reads things in that voice, and it's like, yep, okay, I understand the following now. And then even on the other end of the spectrum, Death, real good looking as well.
Thanos.
Yeah,
Thanatos. I mean, not
Thanatos.
Thanos. Not
Thanos.
Snap.
Not Snap. Scythe guy. Not the Lord. Not the god of the underworld. Just the god of death. And that.
Yeah.
Oh
not
god.
Thanos?
No, not
Not
that one.
Thanos?
Not the purple one. Not the purple one.
You're gonna no, it does
Nope,
not want to. It does not. No,
it doesn't want to do it. But yeah, so like even he's good looking. Like all the gods are good looking. It's like, god damn it. Can we not?
It's like, can you chill, please?
You know, chill. It's just like it's very similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's just like
oh
bonk,
god,
horny jail, horny jail, horny jail.
Bonk. Bonk. Nope, stop it.
Stop. Go. Wait.
You too. Yeah, that game is very horny, and it's, my god, Hades. That was a game of the year for me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that was a hell of a good time.
It really was.
And then for me, honestly,
Oh,
I played the same shit I played last week. Splitgate. Still having fun with that. Except for sorry, I'll get to the Splitgate thing in a second. Moonlighter has been a fun little gem on Game Pass as well.
oh, that's a good game.
That game is just like it's fun. It's like really chill. I can just kind of vibe out with it, and you can just run the shop essentially if you want to. Like you don't actually have to really like dungeon crawl that hard. You can literally just chill in that just keep running the first dungeon, and just keep selling shit out of that. Like, you don't really need to keep going if you don't want to. But like that, I had so like Moonlighter, Boyfriend Dungeon, which is just it.
Another one.
How do I explain this? Boyfriend Dungeon, for anybody who doesn't know, is essentially a dating sim and a dungeon crawler. The gameplay, the dungeon crawling mechanics is a lot of fun. The dating sim aspect is a lot of fun. I introduced a new character. Well, not a new character, because I went out and I said I was going to do it. So I got a little paper fan when things get a little too hot and heavy. When certain characters start like fucking having a rose in their mouth and like opening up their jacket a little too much. Or just whenever they're yeah, Reaper, that's what I'm talking exactly about you.
Hey.
I'm not lying. Where's the lie though? And so you have that, and then like just the gameplay mechanics of it. But I introduced Uncle Louie into the stream yesterday because Eric, who is one of the characters in that game, is the reason why they have that warning. Light spoilers for the game. But you find out real quick that he's
like
fucking creepy. This creepy stalker guy who you tell him to fuck off all the time, and he's just like not catching the hint. So I went upstairs and I got my Uncle Louie, which is a Louisville Slugger. Because you're not, in the UK, home protection, I have a baseball bat. That's what I got. So I introduced Uncle Louie. So I was just like, all right, looky here. And I'm just pointing the bat like, fucking Eric. What are we fucking... Look, this doesn't, like, yeah, this is my Uncle Lou. He turns into a baseball bat. He ain't a sword, he ain't a knife, he a bat. Which means I'm gonna fucking take your kneecaps off next time you fucking get too close, alright? Go fuck out of here.
Damn.
And, yeah, so, like, that, I'm having a lot of fun with that game, and it's, like I said, the combat's fun, the crafting in it's pretty easy, and, like, the dating sim aspect is, like I said, pretty fun, because you have a couple non-binary characters in there. You have, I think you have two non-binary characters, female character, and two male characters that I think you romance. There might be another, but I can't remember. Or at least I think they might have more coming because whatever. But like, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female. You can date anybody if you want to. Like, you're not locked down to one or anything like that. So honestly, it's a lot of fun. And now, my last little tidbit before we move on to the main topic is Splitgate. Because we had the NTO tournament last week, which was fine. It was fun, and we raised some money, and I it was a lot of fun. We got to sit there and play. However, I will say, Rumble Pack, the reason he's not on this week, is because fuck that guy and his goddamn aimbot. All right? If you go to his Twitter, you'll see exactly what I thought about him and his fucking bullshit, because he clipped it out on his stream, because it was afterwards and we were all sitting there bullshitting in Discord, and I said some words. Bear in mind, it was 7 a.m. my time, so I was exhausted, but I stand by my comments nonetheless.
I saw the clip. It was
don't care.
Yikes.
I stand by my comment. I stand by my comment.
Jesus.
It's what is it? RumblePack92 on Twitter. Just go ahead, give it a little looky loo. Yeah, I'm sure if somebody in the chat on Twitch will probably throw it up if one of my mods wants to. But regardless, him and his goddamn hacks. Never playing fucking SWAT against him again. Let me just tell you that much. Like I would spawn, take 3 steps, and like my face is gone again. I'm like, fuck, just like, why? Where are you? Don't know. And then Vegas was like, oh, well, we care. Like, we all did pretty well. I'm like, no. Y'all didn't do well. Rumble did well. Rumble got like 35 kills out of the 50 on his team. Yeah. Like, that man put the team on his back and just fucking ran that shit.
Imagine I played.
Now, like, the question I have, because I think, like, it's been, like, 5-6 weeks now of just Splitgate. So, Splitgate obviously has some legs.
Mm-hmm.
Will it retain those legs come December 8th when Halo Infinite is here? Is Splitgate for real, or is it dead in the water the minute Halo's out?
So I'm gonna say, well, actually, Reaper, go for it because you look like
Okay.
you're about to go.
So for me, Splitgate feels like the old school Halo. It feels like Halo 2, Halo 3. That timeline. Halo Infinite is refined. It is different. It is not the same thing as it was back then. So they're adding a bunch of like new mechanics. If you want like the old school type of Halo, you're gonna stick with Splitgate. And I know people say it's like, oh, it's gonna die. It's gonna die. Sure, it might. There's a possibility, but people are gonna hold on to that nostalgia factor essentially with that. And like it kind of in the title right now. It's going to be like if they continue to bring out content, if they continue to bring out new maps, modes, all that type of stuff, it's going to keep going because right now there's even a pro seed for it, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And depending if like they play their cards right, it might continue going. Because like I said, Halo is great. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not what it used to be. And people will always say it's like, oh, like this is the best one. This is the best one.
Mhm.
And Halo Infinite is just going to continue to progress and grow because that's just what video games do. So yeah.
Now, what I'll say for Splitgate is the reason why I think that one's going to stick around even after Halo launches is because it's free to play. And even though there's Halo multiplayer is going to be free to play, Splitgate is also cross-platform. So you can get on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and you can all play together. So I think that's going to be a big point for Splitgate and how it kind of hangs on to people. Is because it is going to be one of those games where it's like, you know, in a similar vein to like Fall Guys, where you can just jump in and like they don't quite have the cross-platform yet, but that's eventually going to come to the point where they do.
Yeah.
Like where it's you just want to get together and a couple of your friends want to go and you want to goof off in something. You can boot that game up and run it, and you guys can all goof off and have a good time. In the same way that Splitgate is going to be if you're playing and you don't feel like playing Call of Duty because Warzone gets too fucking sweaty, you can then jump into Splitgate and just kind of goof around and have fun with 4 to 6 of your friends depending on the game mode.
I think I'd like, with that in mind, I'd quite like to see, like, who like I don't know the developer of Splitgate or anything, but I'd like to see Sony pour some money into them and say like, hey, not make it exclusive to PlayStation, but sort of like kind of double down on it and say, you know, we've not got Halo, but we've got Splitgate. Like this is the not the next
Like-
best thing, but this is our shooter. This is the shooter that we want to like kind of. It would be nice to see them sort of I don't know, get behind them as a team and not acquire them, not pick them up, not buy them or anything like that, but sort of
Like what they did with Destiny 2, essentially. Right?
yeah, like kind of
Yeah.
get the marketing on it, like double down.
I
on it,
would
say,
I
like,
would that I'd be okay with it. The when you originally pitched it, I'm like, oof, that could be
Ooh,
cool.
no, don't acquire the studio, please.
But
No,
then-
no,
but
I
then
don't
Next
mean,
thing
like,
you know,
acquire, like,
you're it's like they're gonna be like just like slapping Aloy in there, and then they're gonna be slapping Kratos in there, and like
no,
get the
I
new
just mean
Aloy
it
or
would
the
be
Watcher skin, like
it would be cool to have like sort of I don't know, like Sony sort of like say, hey, we're gonna give you guys X amount of dollars. We're gonna have like the marketing and advertising rights, and we're gonna make sure you're on the front page of the Sony store, like sort of thing. Like just sort of like make sure that it sort of lives for a while, because I mean, like I have it downloaded on my PlayStation, my Xbox, and my PC at this stage. I still haven't played it. Like I like just haven't got round to playing it yet. Like but I have it there. Like but
I don't know what
want
more
it
they
to
can
be-
do. I don't know. I honestly do not know what more they can do. They put it. They've done everything other than like put you in a chair, throw a weighted blanket over top of you, and force you to play it. Like I don't know what else that company can do to make you like they made it cross play, so you didn't have to get on everything, but you did anyway because you wanted it. Because obviously, like it'd be like that sometimes. But like, regardless,
In fact, I even have it on 4 platforms because I have it on the PC and I downloaded it on Game Pass for the PC for some reason. I think I just like clicked the icon and went yeah, and then forgot about it, and then downloaded it on the PC and was like, wait, why is there 2 Splitgate icons on my desktop right now? But I just haven't like. To be fair, I've been like busy streaming, work, living, stuff like that. Not had a chance to get into it yet, but like, man, I really want it to succeed because it looks so good and so fun, and like everyone I have spoken to about it seems to have the same thought behind it, which is this game is awesome. Like, but I just worry about it from the 9th of December onwards.
Oliver,
Yep.
I'm gonna need you to not have your coffee beans next week, and instead just boot up Splitgate.
I've got to get them crowns. I've got to get crowns.
Have you, in the entirety that you have played in the mornings on your channel, twitch.tv/ProbablyOliver,
I've got to
Got
go. I've got to go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's what the crowns say every time you get close. I gotta go.
Not today, buddy. I'm sorry.
Not touching. Not touch. Okay. On that terrible disappointment, we're going to move on to our question of the day, which today's topic is a bit of a heavier one. And it's Burnout. Burnout is something that kind of comes with the territory when you are a streamer, content creator, or even not even content creator, just in your day-to-day life. Like, you can get burnt out just working. Seems like it's kind of one of those things in 2020, 2021 that we have been dealing with a lot, where the lack of social interactions you get, or the lack of social, what am I looking for? Activities that you can do with other people in a safe way due to the fucking plague, due to certain people not wearing fucking masks, or getting vaccinated, instead deciding to have fucking cow medicine or some bullshit. Whatever. Not gonna try my best not to get political on this shit, but that's just the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever fucking heard. But I digress. But Burnout is something that is, near and dear to everybody here. I know that for sure. And so I don't know if anybody wants to take it from the top on this one, or
I got really excited. Like, I got really excited when you started that topic and you went like, "We're going to talk about Burnout," and I was like, "Oh, I loved Burnout on the PS2. That was my favorite one. Like, I used to play that for hours. Like, I was like,
it's slowly descended. Like, oh no.
oh no, we're getting real. We're
like
getting
the
real.
No.
face just slowly dropping.
But no, yeah. Like, I mean, I've suffered with burnout pretty bad over the last few months. I ended up taking like 5-6 weeks off of Twitch just because I kind of like, through work, real life, being a doting fiance, a good friend, like a son, a brother, like an employee, a Twitch streamer, and stuff like that. I Twitch watcher. I realized just like over time, I was killing myself with this sort of thing. Like, and I've kind of taken a step back and kind of gone like, right, okay, these are the things that I'm going to be looking at now. Like, I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's very easy, like, and it was very easy a year ago when everyone was stuck at home and everyone wasn't doing much, to kind of go, I'm gonna throw myself into Twitch, I'm gonna throw myself into YouTube, TikTok, content creation, wherever you're doing it, sort of thing.
Yep.
And in the last like few months, when the world's kind of not going back to normal, but going normaler, it's hard to kind of I don't know, like hard to kind of manage everything in the same way that we all were a year ago. Like, I think it's prioritization for me. Like, it's a case of like I've kind of now set aside, like, right, this the most important thing in my life is my relationship. The second most important is my family. The third most important is this, that. And I realized, like, hey, streaming, content creation, podcasting, making stuff, video games and shit like that, it's high on my list, but there's other shit above it, and as long as I get that shit out and done out of the way, I can have as much fun as I want on stream. I can have as much fun as I want on Twitch. And in the last, like, I don't know, couple of months of like using that sort of
mentality.
That methodology, yeah, like it's that kind of mantra sort of thing. It's worked for me, like and I feel like I'm like the last like month I've enjoyed making shit on the internet more than I was enjoying making shit the 3 months before that, when I was sort of scrambled in my head and worried about shit that was going on, and like yeah, that's for me, like.
Yeah, I feel that.
All right, what about you, Reap?
Okay. Well, so for me, it's just like Oliver was saying. Last year was a lot easier because I literally took time off of work because, you know, constantly, like, because I work in a grocery store, right? So I'm around people all the time. And people, being people, they don't know personal space. They don't know, it's like, oh, you should wash your hands or Germex or cover your face whenever you're going to sneeze or anything of the sorts. They don't do that. So it's like, I don't want to catch it. I do not want to catch it. I do not want to bring it home, get my fiance sick or anything like that. So in that time, also around that time, I also lost my grandpa. So I threw myself entirely into Twitch. And because of that, I didn't like, I had horse blinders on, nothing else. Like, that was like, obviously I'm still in a relationship with my fiance, but like that was suffering because I threw myself so much into this to the point where this is all I did. Like, I would wake up, go on Twitch, lurk on channels, talk to people, or stream. And if not that, then it's like, okay, well, what about D&D? What about this? And all these other things. And constantly just like nonstop being here at my desk on Twitch, just nothing else. Like, sure, I would eat, sure, I would spend some time with her, but like, I wouldn't hang out with friends, wouldn't talk to anyone. Yeah, anything of the sorts. But now it's like last December, I streamed one day out of the entire month. So what I'm doing now, it's like I'm working like 40 plus hours a week. I'm taking a break whenever I need to because it's like I kind of have a schedule down now, unlike before, which I would just stream like constantly. But now it's like I stream from like 2:30 to like 6 or 6:30, maybe a little bit later, because she gets out at 6. So it's like I want to spend time with her. And then if not that, it's like I'm just trying to manage it a lot better now because I want to talk to my family, I want to talk to friends, I want to be able to spend time with her and not just sit here at this desk like it's a full-time job when it's still like part-time.
Yeah.
And it's really rough, but I'm kind of getting in the motion of it to the point where I'm able to balance it out and still be able to keep a steady life and not end up hating this because I get so much enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause words. As much as I do love coming in here, talking to you guys, talking to chat, doing all the fun stuff, that is streaming. That is the whole reason, I got into it, when I think why all of us got into it, I don't, I'm not going to speak for y'all, speaking for me specifically. I don't plan on this ever becoming like a full-time, like I never have to work another day in my life just because of Twitch. Now, if it does happen, amazing. But I never started it with the idea of, oh, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna make it rich. I'm gonna be the next, insert big streamer here that's not a terrible person. And so you gotta put that little asterisk there. You gotta put that little asterisk there. But it's stuff like that where it started off as a hobby. It started off as something that was I did on my downtime, or I did for fun, essentially. I did as a way to kind of meet new people. And so when it started to become an actual job and it started to become actually something I wanted to do, I set up, I set the goals, I set the the expectations for myself, and like kind of based I pulled a lot of different things from a lot of different streamers, from our community and from other people that I was watching, and was just like, okay, well, I need to build a schedule, I need to stick to the schedule, I need to do this, do that, blah 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 da 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 X, Y, and Z. And that was good, like I said, last year. But then this year, a lot of things changed. I'm still full time in the military, so like my days go anywhere from 8 hours to 12 hours to 16 hours, depending on the day. So I get home from work and I'm dead dog, and I'm exhausted, and a lot of things in my life suffered because I was sitting in this chair instead of dealing with stuff out there. That was kind of like the whole, I had to take about a few weeks off back in February for it, just because like it was getting to that point where everything here was great. Everything outside that door was starting to kind of fall apart. And so I had to kind of reconcile and take care of that stuff. And I think that's the biggest issue that a lot of us have, especially when when we think like, oh, I gotta be on the grind. I gotta be everywhere. I gotta be. If I'm not streaming, I gotta be lurking another stream. If I'm not lurking in somebody else's chat, I'm, editing a YouTube video, or I'm throwing something up on TikTok, or I'm doing something on Twitter, or I'm talking to these people and trying to network it, to the point where you can just overwhelm yourself because you're trying to do everything while also still working your 9 to 5, while also still trying to maintain your home relationships, your own well-being. Like, I've put on 30 pounds, 40 pounds, give or take. Like, yeah, it's happened since like 2020 into 2021. Like, I've put on a bunch of weight because the gyms were all closed. But even on top of that, I can still go walk around if I wanted to. The UK law said I could walk around for 30 minutes a day or some nonsense. I forget what the heck the dumb.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes for exercise.
Yes, for exercise, you could talk to people, but you had to be like social distant, regardless of whatever the nonsense was. But it was like one of those things that I could have made. I actively chose to do this over those other things, which help cultivate this and my audience and help me do all these things. But once again, it's kind of like turning your radio up in the car when you start hearing something in the car making a noise. You're just like, nope, everything's fine, la 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 la, until eventually the car breaks down. You're like, oh, I didn't know. Really? You didn't hear that rattle for the last 6 days as you drove this thing? And I think that's kind of the biggest thing with burnout, or at least in my side, from where I'm sitting, is like recognizing it before the car breaks down. And so I wish I had a cure-all for it. I wish I knew like a way to like be like, all right, here's the tips to avoid just your standard YouTube. Here's the top 5 tips to avoid burnout. Step 1. Honestly though, step 1, stick to a fucking schedule. Stick to a schedule. I put it in here where there would be times where, I stream every, bop, bop, bop. Oh, well, I'm not doing anything tonight, so I'll sneak a little, do another stream. Or, oh, well, I got done with that thing early. I'll just go stream again over here. No big deal. It is a big deal. Stop it. There was a day.
It'll add up.
Oh, it'll add up quick. And to the point where it's like you didn't realize like you stream 6 out of 7 days a week. And you're like, oh. Oof. No, thank you. And so it's just one of those things where like setting your schedule, setting your routine, and then also, just making sure you are taking time for yourself, whether that be for your own reading a book, fucking watching even just some other content, just going for a fucking walking your dog. Like, my dog has been the happiest she has been in a minute, because there was a time where I wasn't walking her at all, and now she's just like, anytime I'm putting my shoes on, she's like, hey, what's up? We going now? Like, yeah, I guess so. Wasn't planning on it, but now I guess we are.
Those are the ones that should be like unexpected.
Oh yeah. All
Nice.
the fun things. All the fun stuff. But yeah, I don't. As much as I would love to, like I said, I've exhausted my, essentially, like, burnout obviously sucks, and like it's gonna be managing. It's gonna be a little different for everybody. It's just like managing your mental health, as far as like managing expectations, because that's gonna be the other big contributing factor to it. Where if you put too much stress on yourself for the reason of, for instance, like for us, right? I want to make, you want to make it, big, you want to do all, X, Y, and Z, but you put these expectations on yourself, and like as soon as you start having bad days where viewership's low or growth slows down, you're like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I, what am I, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, how do I, reignite that flame? And then you start overthinking, and then it's just a downward spiral.
And like for me, like it's a case of like, because when you do get to that stage, and everyone like has that sort of like that thought process at times, and I think like one of the most dangerous things is that when you are in one of them like mindsets, in one of them like sort of like zones, as it were, sort of thing, thinking you're the only one who has ever felt like that before, it's like that's what, because no, everyone, like you, even your biggest of your big, you're like your top dogs in the world of streaming or content creation have felt like shit about the content that they're putting out, or like they have felt burnout before, sort of thing. And for me, like it's a case of, I don't know, rightly or wrongly, like I never want to make bad content. And so like I've got to a stage now where like I recognize, like if I'm burnt out, or if I'm not feeling good, or if I'm not feeling great about myself, sort of thing, then I need to take myself away. I need to like, make sure that, my house is like, my house is in order before Twitch is in order, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and like when I'm firing on all cylinders, I'm like, I mean, I've not been doing this long, but when I'm firing on all cylinders, I make good shit, and when I'm not, I make all right shit, and when I'm feeling, hey, fuck you, um, but when I'm feeling dreadful about myself, and when I'm feeling like, like bad in my like relationship or my home life or my work life or anything like that, then like I that reflects on like my personal persona when I click go live, because that's what Twitch is. That's what like streaming is. It's yourself up to 11. So if you're in a good mood, it's gonna be damn fucking good, and if you're in a bad mood, it's gonna be damn fucking bad. Like it's that's for me. Like, I mean, I don't know all the answers. I don't know, like I don't like I'm like, again, I'm small fry. Like when I started streaming, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna have my name in lights. And like
Baby, you're a star.
I think it was a bit of a wake up call and a realization that when I realized that, hey, no, I'm gonna be really good at what I do, and I'm gonna have like a damn good community. And if I wanna become like a big name, then I have to do other shit as well. Like it's kind of, yeah, it's like it's yeah, it's but again, I mean that's coming from someone who, like, I mean, I've had my fair share of mental health wobbles off of stream anyway, sort of thing. Like
I like that.
since
I'm using
since I
that
was a
line.
kid.
I'm using that line. Mental health wobbles. I'm just
Yeah,
having a mental health wobble. It's just a wobble. It's not a break. Not broken. Just a little wobble. Little. You got a little speed wobble. If anybody who's ever like rode a skateboard or a bike
Yeah,
down a
you're like,
hill.
oh no.
Yeah, you're going a little too fast, and you're like, oh shit! Steady, steady, steady. Pavement. Oh god.
Oh god.
But yeah, so it's one of those things, like, and this I guess is more. I want to talk about this because I know there are people out there who this might help. Now, obviously, the ramblings of three jabronis on the internet may not necessarily relate to them 100%. They may have different circumstances. They may have different this, that, or the others. But at the end of the day, it's you're not alone. People feel it. You're in a slump. You're in a rough patch. It happens. Best thing to do is, like Oliver said, take a step back and reassess. Like, okay, why did I start streaming? Why do I continue to stream? Why do I want to stream tomorrow? And then even after doing that, it's like, okay, well, what outside of this is important to me? Like, obviously, you need to make sure that you can afford, the roof over your head and food on the plate and all these other things before doing this. Unless you're pulling in rent money from Twitch, which if you're doing that, like, more power to you. Like, live your best life. Like, I ain't got. I'll shut the hell up right now. But otherwise, like, you gotta worry. You gotta try to stay as stable as possible, so that way you don't have that undue stress of like, I have to be creating content. If I don't go live today, if I take today off, then the people who, my viewership is going to drop, or they're going to find the next, somebody else who they like more than me. Like, that was the other thing I talked about months ago. Like, other people's successes aren't your failures. Like, just because somebody else is blowing up, and they're experiencing like just huge growth. Like, I've seen people in the community who were, sitting at like, 5 or 6, and all of a sudden they just up to 8, like, in a month. And it's like, what did they do? How do I recreate that? You're not going to. Just right time, right place, right game, right set of eyes on them. And that kind of stuff's crazy, and you love to see it. But just because they are having a good time or they're doing great doesn't mean that you did something wrong, doesn't mean that you are doing poorly. It just means that they were in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
And that can be that other thing of like, what's the old, I keep using old turn of phrases and metaphors. Was it Keeping Up with the Joneses? Like, just trying to always keep up with like what your neighbors have. Like, if you have like, oh well, they got new cars, so I got to get a new car. It's like, oh well, now they're pulling ahead, or like, oh, so and so got like the new Elgato cam, so now I need to upgrade my camera, or this and this and this. Like, all that stuff, it's gonna happen. You're gonna feel that way. Like, acknowledging that you're feeling that and kind of getting a general understanding of why is good. It's just acting on it. Acting on that, or like trying to letting it bog you down, I guess, is where the problem comes into play. Feeling those things and acknowledging those things aren't a bad thing, but then like actively being like, oh well, fuck that guy, he's, I don't know, like, he's playing this or that or whatever. Like, okay, like that, you're just hurting yourself. Hating somebody is like, drinking poison and then expecting them to die. Like, okay, why do they care?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, if anybody got any parting shots on that?
On that?
Or I mean, if you want to.
Let's
if
see.
you wanted to.
I don't know. Like, so for me, it's the fact of like the constant burnout for me, or like one of the main contributing factors is just I don't know. Like, when I started doing this, right, I did not expect people to come by and watch, like, at all, right? Because it's just like, I'm just gonna hit live and see what happens. And you start playing a video game, and then people slowly start coming in and all that stuff. And it's great. Like, obviously, like, over the span of this year and a couple of months now, I've had a tremendous growth that I never thought I would see, considering this is my first year. It's completely mental to me. So it's like the fact that happened so quickly, it did factor into, it's like, okay, well, numbers. But at the same time, it's like, why am I looking at this? I need to, like, calm down, stop looking at it, because that's one of the things that, like, mentally, it's a burden. Like, you shouldn't be looking at it. You shouldn't be acknowledging it, because, hey, people will come and go. If people unfollow, hey, you know what? Good on you. Go live your life. I ain't your dad. I ain't your daddy. Do your thing.
Hope not.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's just like all these little things like factor into it, and that will hurt you mentally with burnout, just the way that you're feeling in general, or like life being life, and sometimes life is just rough, and yeah, it all gets into the smorgasbords of things, and you end up just pittering out, if anything. But if you guys are able to, manage it, if you guys are able to stay kind of in a good mental health space with all this stuff, you should be fairly well. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm just trying to get there and not really pay attention to the numbers because it's not good.
Yep.
It ain't.
For me, it's just like, I mean, I don't know, mental health advocate, like more than anything, like just look after your canister. Like it's the most important thing. Like just make sure that you know, if you feel good in here, like you're gonna feel good out there, sort of thing. Like I don't know, like with Twitch and stuff like that. Like, you know, I don't know. Maybe one day the three of us make it big and we sit there in our Kappa shaped mansion. Like
Kappa shaped mansion.
absolutely, I'm getting a Kappa shaped mansion. Like Kappa for life, baby.
That's how you know we made it. Not that you have your own in-ground pool, not that you have a pool table, like
Well,
a
the
room
pool
for a pool
the
table.
indoor pool is shaped like not like this. Like it's kind of
Not that you have a mansion. Like no, not just a regular mansion.
a Kappa shaped mansion. But
Custom
no, like
built Kappa.
but no, it's kind of like, you know, there are like, I don't know, there's Twitch is a wild west, like, and same with any kind of like content creation sort of thing. Like all of us, like with the like, I don't know, maybe one day we make it big, maybe one day we don't. Just fucking enjoy it, like for what it is, and that's kind of my rule now is that numbers be damned. Like if I'm gonna make it big in like the world of like the video game media space sort of thing, maybe it's through Twitch, maybe it's elsewhere, and I'm at the moment I'm kind of focusing my efforts elsewhere, sort of thing. Like because you know, one day it's a job that maybe I would love to do. It's but for now it's kind of I'm just gonna enjoy the ride wherever it takes me. Because yeah, like I think yeah, it's yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride wherever it takes me. Like let's have fun while we're young, like while we're still in. Oh man, I think no, you're both still in your 20s. You're absolute bastards.
Hey, I'm turning 29 this month.
I'm 26, so.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
You
You
baby
son of a
face,
bitch!
son of a bitch! Just like Matt Damon, old face. Ah. All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so much for being here with us. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know this was a bit of a heavier topic than we normally have, but I figured, you know, you need to have these topics from time to time. You guys, you know, so that way not only people can kind of get a general idea of where we stand on it, but also if you are feeling these kind of things, that you know that you're not alone and there are people out there who have been in similar situations. We won't say the same, but in similar situations, similar boats, and that you can reach out and talk to somebody. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So, till next time, have a good one. Stay safe. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.
Here's a cup.